and welcome back, everyone. Today is really back-to-back. It's always like this at OFF. It's insane. And I just swapped quickly with Melanie, so I am back for the next 2 hours. Don't worry, you'll see Melanie again later on today. But I'm joining in to host the amazing Carina Lindmeier, who's joining us. How are you?
I'm good.
So yeah, live at OFF. I know you always wanted to be here, which is amazing.
I'm so excited.
How has it been this morning?
Quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so incredible to see so many creatives and mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. And honestly, you have, I love your work. I'm biased because you're a close friend of mine as well. But I can't wait to show a little bit of your work, projects, some things that you've been doing recently. But firstly, maybe let's introduce you, because I know who you are, but maybe not at home. So go for it.
I'm Carina. I'm a digital illustrator from Austria and specializing in digital illustration with a very playful and bold style, which evolved the last couple of years to a very colorful one.
Yeah.
And I love to draw all things around lifestyle, food. I love to include energetic elements and
And I know you're a fresco user, so how did fresco enter your life?
It was love at first sight, I would say.
It's a love story with Carina.
Yeah.
We're titling the stream again.
Yeah, I mean, I come from graphic design, so I really was waiting and totally hoping for Adobe to create an app which is perfect for me and for drawing on the iPad. And I really enjoy it.
Yeah, so nice. And I think whenever we talk about colors with other people, I've always been told there isn't a color that Carina doesn't use it. Like in her work, she's like pulling from all sides. And sometimes we're like, that's not going to work. And Carina's like, no, wait for it. Like it's going to happen. So we definitely have to show you work. And maybe start with the idea of color. Like how do you get inspired to start your work? And food I know is important for you. So maybe that's a good example.
That's actually a good question. I mean, when it comes to colors, I really listen to my gut feeling and intuition. So I like all things colorful. So maybe that's kind of this relationship which you can also see in my work. I mean, when I draw food or some still life scenes, I really want to create something that has some life in it. And I think colors are the perfect way to breathe in some life and to make it funky and fun.
Yeah, totally. I think that's the right message. I think you have a project here for Bombay Sapphire. That's the first one that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a good example of like something very fun and playful.
Yeah. This was really one of my favorite projects. Last year, I created a furoshiki. It's a traditional Japanese
so cool.
wrapping cloth for Bombay Sapphire for their Christmas mailing. And you can see it's printed on some fabric, silk fabric, and it's super colorful, and I really wanted to make it fun and not so Christmassy, because the initial idea of a furoshiki is that you can reuse it. Yeah, you can see it's very colorful and bright.
Yeah. Love it. And maybe let's go being more focused on food.
That's fun, because I started illustrating in black and white.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not convinced by that. You're like, how was I doing this?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was like, really, when I'm thinking back on the time, I really think it's like a different Carina.
Yeah.
So, I started to use color more, and I also started to combine different elements and also textures, and then I realized it's so much more fun to create something vibrant and colorful.
Yeah. That you have in there. There was one project I think that's a highlight to me, because you're often on Adobe Live, which was working with Sophia on some of her food stories.
Yeah.
I think that was a really fun
this was also one of
project.
My favorite
If you want to
projects.
explain the kind of idea behind it.
Sophia, which is an amazing and totally talented photographer. She went to New York last summer, I guess, and she was portraying some queer restaurant owners.
Yep.
And then we started to think about how we can collaborate on a fun project. I think the internet connection is not working.
It's loading.
But I think, yeah, I can show you this one on Instagram as well. And then she was taking the portraits of the people, and I illustrated their signature dish.
Yep. I'll just go back to this one because I think we can see it.
Yeah, you can find it on Instagram. Yeah. So I ended up doing about 6 illustrations for this project, and yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, I think this collaboration side is often bringing up another level. I think we were just talking, and he was like, I had like a complete career shift where I started doing, something completely different, and maybe the black and white and the colors entered your life and you started testing things.
Yeah, and I think it's also nice to be open-minded and to collaborate with other people because it's really inspiring to have this kind of creative exchange as well, and to learn from each other in order to grow. And also in order to expand your own skill set as well.
Yeah, totally. Let's see if we can get that up. Behance project as well. I know you've been creating some with Sophia. Sophia's based in Berlin, and we didn't even say you're based in Austria, which also means a lot in terms of creative scene. I think I see some similarities between you and Craig, because Craig is based in Scotland, and he also found that being in London is what is the cool thing, or maybe very easy for connecting, but sometimes you can also be based in Austria or in Scotland and try harder to get your work out there.
But I think when it comes to getting seen, just show your work, and really Instagram or Behance or setting up a nice portfolio, or even talk to people at OFFF is a great possibility or opportunity to show your work, get seen, get connected with each other, and
Yeah, totally. Oh, there you go. We have the project up.
Yeah, this was the Queer Food Stories project with Sophia. There's also a small text which describes the whole project. And here you can see this is the owner of Argus Counter, and I created the signature dish from this restaurant.
And I really like that. It gives a full story. I think Sophia is a very good storyteller, and then you can bring an element to that. So she has the person, and then how they express their art, which is like food-wise. And did you get in touch, or did these people that she portrayed find out about your illustrations?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, how nice.
They reached out on Instagram and asked me if they can use the illustrations.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
cool.
they liked it so much. And yeah, it's so cool to get in touch with people which are living on the other side of the world and which appreciate your work, and to get feedback from them. It was so nice.
Totally. And again, I think in terms of community, you are able to connect with Sophia, who's based in Berlin, and work on a project together, which has been super nice. How has it been during the pandemic, for example, when you were working and with clients and kind of picking it up now this year again? And last year, actually. We've been away from this for a while.
Don't talk about the pandemic anymore. I've been very lucky, I have to say. It was quite easy for me to work from home and also to collaborate with different people and also clients. But I really enjoy being out.
Or for example, Fritz Cola and this kind of work that you've done, which I remember was you in the sun,
was
drawing on this truck for whatever it was for so long. I don't know if we can find it somewhere on your Instagram and load it again.
I painted a whole container for Fritz Cola.
It was hard physical work.
It really was, but it was totally fun.
At the height of the summer.
Yep.
Let's see if the internet cooperates.
I painted a whole container, and this is really awesome to create something on your iPad and to mock it up and then really transfer it on some actual wall or container or whatever. And to work in big scale. Yeah,
totally. And that reminds me a little bit of also talking about the different like elements you have outside of your work in terms of output. So you worked with digital, of course, print. I know you spend a lot of time to create great prints and like quality too, but of course we've seen the scarf, so clothing or accessories, a part of what you've been doing I think the last 2 years, and you've been sharing a lot of fresco tips in there.
Yeah.
I think you're also challenging yourself with like animation sometimes and trying to partner up. We talked about collaborations. So for example, Robert is someone you worked with on stream to animate some of your work. How is that to like
super
collaborate?
Fun. And I think it's also so nice to meet different people from different creative fields and disciplines and to ask about or to get a kind of sneak peek behind the scenes, how they work and how they what their artistic approach is on a project, and it's always so fun. Oh, Rob is making a picture.
We were just talking about Rob, and here he goes.
Yeah, and it's so fun because everyone works different and has some different perspectives, and it's so nice when you find the right people to create, the perfect project.
It's amazing. I hope he can hear us. Because it's definitely mentioning him. He's going away now, so bye-bye, Rob. And I know you mentioned collaborations and people who support you. I saw that Anna was in the chat, so I think there are a lot of people, and we haven't mentioned the chat so much today, but we'll try and mention you guys who are all joining, and girls and whoever's in the chat. So I do want to say hi to Gareth, Oliver. We have a bunch. Of course, I mentioned Anna. Just everyone, and Tim, who's here for support as well. Tim, you're missed, so I hope you're resting up. Anyway, back to you, Carina. What is kind of the dream, kind of next project you would like to work on, or something that will keep your energy going? I know you've mentioned like this AR experience a little bit with your food, or let's manifest a project.
Yeah, I'm currently working on a concept because I want to apply for a funding where I would like to create some kind of digital dinner, or let's call it hybrid dinner, where I want to combine my illustration work with some sound work, with some animation, with AR, and also with actual food in a restaurant. And I'm currently in the stage of bringing it all together into one nice concept, but I'm dreaming of like a whole scene where people can just explore with all senses.
Very cool. Yeah. So you now have to find your partner in crime for this. We talked about collaboration.
I have a lot of people in mind.
Do you? I see. Carina is also...
So if someone wants to collaborate with me, I'm always open.
Who is now into food? I think we found a match. We have internet back up, so we can definitely show some projects again.
Perfect.
Let's maybe go to your Instagram. I think you wanted to show the video. Was there something up that you were trying to get up? The Fritz Cola, maybe?
The Fritz Cola one is here.
There you go. We will get there.
Yeah, one day.
Maybe not today. I will share your Instagram though in the chat
perfect.
to make sure it comes across. Maybe the video is a little too much. We're pushing it. Let's go through it a little bit more. I know you talked about food, for example, until now, and also what you want to experiment with this year. But I think people are also for a long time have been part of what you like represent in terms of like women. How is that part of your work, and do you think you're still going to be spending time representing women or diverse
totally.
groups?
I think that's also one thing that I really want to focus on more is like encourage people.
Yeah.
And that's also one thing that is super important when it comes to being creative, or in general. I think it's also important to being encouraging as a human, and I'm always in for supporting each other.
Well, you know what, Carina, we're almost at the end of the stream and you've just nailed it. I always feel like we spend like time chatting for 20 minutes and then the guests are like, I think I got something out of this. I'm gonna like sum it up in like a line. That's so good. I'm just really excited to see more of your work and where this whole journey takes you. If you are a fan of Carina's work, like do follow her on Instagram. Is there anywhere else we can find you, or?
Yeah, of course, on Behance and on my website, carinalindmeier.com.
Perfect. And if you're in for a food project,
Yeah.
definitely ping us or ping Carina.
Yes, please.
Let me just check the schedule so I can let you know what's coming up right now. We have Rick, who's going to be joining us.
Perfect.
Then Kelly, Anna, and then Melanie will be back with me later on. Carina, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
See you in 5 minutes.
Bye-bye.